Joe Mazzulla transformed the Boston Celtics into a player development powerhouse by turning castoffs and bench warmers into legitimate championship assets. Since taking over the head coaching duties in 2022, Mazulla has built a reputation that goes far beyond winning games. He knows how to unlock hidden potential. The organization recently signaled absolute confidence in him. Even after blowing a 3-1 lead in the first round of the playoffs, the front office knows his value. The reigning coach of the year has created a unique development culture. From 2022 to 2026, Boston consistently got huge contributions from unexpected places. Players who seemed past their prime or out of options suddenly evolved into vital rotation pieces. That evolutionary process kept Boston at the top of the NBA. We are focusing on 8 specific players who defined this era. We are excluding rookie draft picks like Jordan Walsh, Baylor Shireman, and Hugo Gonzalez. Those draft picks came into the league with clear expectations. The front office expected them to contribute right away, and they rewarded that faith. Instead, we are examining the players who truly surprised the basketball world under Mazulla Ball. Greatest success stories. We begin at number 8 with an unorthodox choice in Blake Griffin. When Boston signed Griffin after training camp had already started, the consensus was clear. Most analysts believed the former superstar was completely cooked. His generational athleticism and rim-rocking dunks were ancient history. Against the Brooklyn Nets years prior, Boston targeted Griffin on every single possession. Yet when he arrived in Boston, everything changed. Griffin did not become an everyday starter. Instead, he embraced a crucial role as a reliable stand-in when Al Horford or Robert Williams needed rest. He replaced lost verticality with elite basketball IQ and unmatched hustle, dove for loose balls, took charges, and set a physical tone for the locker room. Griffin turned himself into a fan favorite and a genuine asset. He proved that Mazulla could maximize veterans when expectations were at rock bottom. Coming in at number 7 is Ron Harper Jr. Before landing in Boston, Harper was a classic NBA journeyman known mostly for his famous family name. Bounced around the league with short stints for multiple teams, struggling to find a permanent home. He arrived in Boston on a simple training camp invite. Few expected him to make the final roster, let alone impact high-stakes games. Yet under Mazulla, Harper underwent a massive transformation. He evolved from a training camp long shot into Boston's primary perimeter defender against elite scorers like Kevin Durant. His athleticism and two-way play earned him a full-time spot on the team. The Celtics took a player that the rest of the league ignored and turned him into a long-term keeper. There is a solid chance Harper will rank much higher on this list as he continues his development over the next 4 years. Do not be surprised if his ranking looks low in hindsight. Harper has all the tools to climb much higher as his developmental trajectory continues. At number 6, we look at Luka Garza. During an offseason where Boston lost a major chunk of front-court depth, fans were deeply concerned. When news broke that Garza was one of the primary replacements, initial reactions were lukewarm at best. He did not hit the ground running immediately. Garza was never going to be an elite rim protector. Boston never tasked him with guarding the opponent's most dangerous scoring threats. Instead, the Celtics surrounded him with elite defensive personnel that masked his individual shortcomings. Once Garza clicked with Mazulla Ball, he thrived. His relentless rebounding and ability to space the floor made him a dependable backup center. He turned initial skepticism into pure fan adoration. Number 5 brings us to Luke Cornet, a truly original redemption arc. Cornet originally arrived as a mere filler piece in a 2021 trade deadline deal. He was let go, worked his way back on a G League contract, and eventually earned a full-time standard deal. From there, history was made. Cornet became a leader of the famous Stay Ready group. He won a championship, bet on his own growth, and became a true Celtics playoff hero. His journey culminated in a lucrative new contract with San Antonio. But his tactical transformation under Mazulla was the real story. Cornet entered the league as a stretch big who wanted to shoot from deep. Mazulla completely flipped that blueprint on its head. Mazulla recognized that Cornet needed to utilize his massive frame inside the paint, rather than drifting around the three-point arc. Tactical adjustment unlocked his impact. Cornet even popularized the famous Cornet contest, jumping high with extended arms from afar to block vision. While he gained initial experience under Brad Stevens and Ime Udoka, Mazulla truly allowed Cornet to flourish into an indispensable playoff asset. Taking the 4th spot is Neemias Queta. Queta gets the nod over Cornet because he was handed far greater responsibility during his time in Boston. Incredible to remember that Queta was acquired from the scrap heap. Sacramento let him go simply to clear roster room for JaVale McGee. Boston scooped him up and placed him directly into the Stay Ready group. Slowly but surely, the coaching staff increased his workload. There were plenty of growing pains along the way. It was forced to mature faster than expected as injuries hit the front court roster. Mazulla ball demands discipline, and the results do not always appear overnight. But Queta persevered through every single obstacle. He went from a luxury deep on the bench to the starting center for the foreseeable future. His ascension occurred largely without Jason Tatum on the floor. Now that Queta gets to pair alongside a healthy Tatum, his potential impact is set to explode even further in the coming seasons. At number 3, we have Sam Hauser. Queta may eventually challenge for higher positioning, but Hauser delivered something Boston lacked for years. He transformed from an undrafted free agent into an elite, indispensable rotation piece. When Danilo Gallinari suffered an injury in 2022, Hauser stepped up. No one knew what to expect from the unheralded forward. For years, Boston drafted defensive specialists hoping they would develop a jump shot. Hauser flipped that script entirely. He arrived as a pure three-point marksman and quickly developed into a capable, reliable team defender. He has rewritten Celtics record books from beyond the arc on multiple occasions. His presence as an elite floor spacer justifies why Boston shoots so many threes. While Hauser remains a specialist rather than a high-usage starter, his efficiency is world-class. He is paid to shoot, and he does it at an elite level. Number 2 belongs to Payton Pritchard. If you want to talk about dramatic career arcs, look no further than the gritty guard. Early in his career, Pritchard was stuck deep in the stay-ready group. Frustration mounted to the point where he openly considered playing elsewhere. Pritchard maintained a relentless work ethic and waited for his moment. Last season, he stepped up as a full-time starter for a resilient squad. His craftiness and elite perimeter shooting allow him to score against anyone. Opponents constantly underestimate him due to his size, which plays right into his hands. Now, following the monumental Jaylen Brown trade, Pritchard is expected to shoulder an even heavier scoring burden for the franchise. With each passing season, Boston places more trust on his shoulders. He has answered every challenge under Mazulla, proving he is built for the big stage. Finally, taking the number 1 spot as the ultimate Mazulla success story is Derrick White. When White first landed in Boston, his defense was undisputed. He was already an elite perimeter defender, but his offensive confidence and three-point shooting remained major statistical question marks. All it took was one full season under Mazulla to unleash his full potential. White transformed into an elite two-way force on the court. He was clearly miscast during his time in San Antonio and needed the right environment to flourish. Mazulla provided the perfect tactical structure. White improved his jump shot dramatically, while Mazulla weaponized him on both ends of the floor in clutch closing lineups. While every player on this list benefited from coaching, White is the only one who earned legitimate all-star consideration. He stands at the apex of Mazulla ball. Joe Mazzulla has proven that player development is the ultimate lifeblood of a championship contender. He turns forgotten talent into dominant forces. As Boston navigates new roster shifts and future challenges, the Mazulla system remains the team's greatest competitive advantage. Which of these 8-player transformations surprised you the most during this remarkable era? Leave your thoughts in the comments below.